Hello everybody and welcome to this Witchwood Hearthstone card expansion look at cards review type thing. I'm actually not going to go through every single card and review them, but instead just talk about, I think, some of the more interesting cards which I like, and and just some of the new kind of stuff which is coming in for the Witchwood. For those who don't know, I'm going to be doing a stream of my pack opening. I've got like 75 packs or so to open. I picked up the pre-order expansion pack thing, which I think was $44.99 for 70 packs, which is actually the best value expansion they've had so far. And also I've picked up a few packs along the way for doing daily quests, which I've liked as well. I've given Hearthstone a lot of shit in the past because of the price of things, and it is still overpriced, but it was getting better, and I hope they do more things where you get packs for quests. That was really good because that actually made me motivated to do the quest rather than just like 30 gold, which doesn't get you too much nowadays, does it? I know just for logging in on the day it goes live, I think you get 3 packs or something like that, so it's well worth doing if you're on a free-to-play basis. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing a nice pack opening. I completely skipped the last one in a way. Not completely, I guess I did a bit of a late one when I picked up like the multi-pack, but certainly didn't do a big one, and I've never opened 75 packs before, or at least 75. I'll get more because I log in on the day, and maybe I'll buy a few more with the gold I've got, we'll see. So I'll do that on stream on Thursday night, probably around about 8:30. That's British summertime now we're in, so that's the 12th of April. I hope you can be there, and I'm sure I'll do some videos. In the meantime, this video is going to go up, and I've got at least one other Hearthstone video which I'm just going to put up before because it's from the current expansion I'm in now, or so I might as well get that up because it'd be less relevant. So yeah, let's talk about Witchwood. Why for some reason that went wrong. There we go. So I've got this is split into 3 pages, so we've got like the higher cost here, then going down in descending cost, all the way down to the early 1 costs and things like that. There's 2 new card mechanics, Echo and Rush. The Hunting Mastiff here shows both of them off. Echo means that you can play the card, you get a copy of the card as many times as you have mana for. So if you had 10 mana, you could play these 5 times effectively. Rush means that it's charge, but it can't attack the hero, stopping, I guess, those sort of nasty 1-turn kill combo decks which come about. You still have charge on whatever minions it's on in older expansions or classic sets, but Rush is the new one, I guess, and I guess it allows them to not have to worry about the 1-turn kill, and they can give more minions it, and maybe make a slightly more interesting setup going along with it. So there we go. I think of the 2, Echo is more interesting, and it has the more interesting cards, and has the potential to be very powerful, I think. But we'll see. I can make all sorts of predictions now, but the reality is, until a few weeks in, once the whole thing's settled down, we don't know what is going to be good, really. You can have a pretty good idea. For example, the first card, Chameleos, I really like. It's a 1-cost 1/1 priest legendary. So each turn this in your hand, transform it into a card your opponent is holding. What I love about this is the fact that it gives you information about your opponent's deck, as well as the fact that you can potentially get a high power card from it. So if you get this on turn 1, it for me the value is keep it in your hand, so you know constantly what your opponent's got. It seems like a rare occasion, but it's amazing how many times you get down to the point whereby your opponent is holding that 1 card and you're like, what is that card? If you have Chameleos in your hand, the chances are you're going to know, and then you can play around it. So I think it's kind of like a little mini spy, you know, as well as the fact that if your opponent's got a, you know, a really good card or something just really useful for you, then you can play that, and I like it. Cheap costing legendaries, although technically it's not cheap costing, yeah, are pretty good. I don't know how it works with a lot of other mechanics, so I don't know how it works if you return it to your hand. Does it change back to Chameleos, or if it gets like dirty ratted or something like that? I don't know, but I like it. People seem to like it too. It's got a 4.4 rating out of 5 on this website, which is hearthstone-topdecks.com. So there you go. Dark Possession. There's a lot of Warlock cards which do damage to things but yourself, if that makes sense, so either the hero or other minions. So deal 2 damage to a friendly character, discover a demon. Now that can work really well if you have like a enrage type situation, or as we'll see later, because it says character, that means it works on your minions as well as your hero, and there are cards which work well with that. So basically you take 2 damage, but you get to discover a demon, so you get 3 choices of demon, and it only costs 1 mana. I think that's a good card. I like that, definitely. I like demon decks. There's just something interesting about them, so it's good. I like it. Town Crier, they're interesting, like getting a high rating, and these low cost cards I think are pretty cool. I like them a lot, actually. So we'll see, I guess. Swamp Dragon Egg. The Egadin decks just get bigger and bigger, right? I mean, I guess like a buff paladin it could be alright, but I mean the 3 health kind of sucks in a way, but if you could buff it, it could be alright. There's plenty of like paladin buff things. Witch's Apprentice at 1 costs 0/1 Dawn. Add a random shaman spell to your hand on the battle cry. I don't know if that's any good or not. It feels like a bad babbling book. Do you know what I mean? Like it is basically a babbling book, but just bad, because shaman spells are not that powerful. They're okay. They're not bad, but they're generally like low costing things, you know, like maelstroms and lightning storms and stuff like that. They're not usually like, with a mage or potentially a priest you can get something a bit beefy with it, but we'll see, I guess. I haven't seen all of these cards as well, because they only did the final reveal yesterday in a stream with Ben Brode and Day 9, which was really good, actually. Of the bits I watched of it, because it was just Day 9 being Day 9 kind of being a bit dopey. Baleful Banker. Choose a friendly minion and shuffle a copy of it into your deck. Yeah, that seems really good. Really good. It's cheap costing, copy, mechanic. Use it with one of the high power legendaries. Yeah, I like it a lot. I love those type of cards. I'm a control type of guy. I don't mind when it's an interesting mechanic for an aggro deck. Like I enjoy playing Quest Warlock, like the Discard Warlock, because it's kind of like this very high energy, high risk, high reward type thing. And but when it's just like the standard kind of like Hunter or Paladin aggros, or back when it was like Zulog, it just bores the hell out of me. So I prefer a longer game, and that for me is going to be a pretty cool card, so I'd definitely craft that. I think it's an epic, so it'd be expensive, but yeah, there you go. I'm looking what else. Oh, Pickpocket caught my eye. Now Rogue has caught my eye a lot in this expansion, because there's some very cool cards and I'm excited to play Rogue, and I'm never usually excited to play Rogue, but I like this card. Echo, add a random card to your hand from your opponent's class. That synergizes with the Rogue legendary, which we'll see later, very well, and I think it's just a cool card. So yeah, people are a bit umming and ahhing on it, but I think it's pretty good. I'm not such a fan of Cheap Shot. I think it's a bit expensive, but it could be useful, I guess. I guess the great thing about this is it feels a little bit like what's that one called? Forbidden Flame, is it? The mage card, where you, however much mana you have, you use that and it does damage to you know, a minion. And like, I guess the better thing is if you have a 6 cost minion, you only need to use 6 mana, you know. I guess if it's a 5 cost, you use 1 more, but rather than being like, hey, I need to remove this minion, but you know, if I use Forbidden Flame, then you know, I'm going to use up all my mana. You know, you can potentially play this 3 times and then still play something else. So I think it's okay. I'll definitely try it out. There's some cards which I don't think are very good in this expansion. Sound the Bells being one, probably Witchwood Apple being another, the Druid card, but you're never going to have amazing, you know, all the way through. I don't like this Book of Spectres either. Although I will say this, I did experiment because I had a quest recently to play elementals. So I experimented with a mage deck which just featured like elementals. I had hardly any spells whatsoever, and it was more of a kind of aggro deck, and it was actually quite good fun. So I think I'd probably try that out. If I pick this up, I wouldn't dust it. It's an epic and it would be really expensive, but if I get it in my packs, a couple of them, then that might be something I try out for sure. What else have we got? I guess the Red Band Wasp is okay. If you get it on turn 2, it's alright. That's okay as well if you're going to be playing Elemental Shaman. This is the second legendary we're seeing, yeah, I think so. Whenever you draw a minion, add a copy of it to your hand. It's a cheap Chromagus, which I'm up for, definitely. I like that a lot. If you play this, and then maybe you can play Arcane Intellect, or hey, even something better than that. Maybe you play Arcane Intellect as, sorry, maybe you play Archmage Arugel, and then the Book of Spectres. Ooh, that's pretty good. You fill your hand up right quick, wouldn't you? But you only really have to draw like 2 cards, I think, to make that worthwhile. You know, 4 copies of it, if it's minions, of course. But it's pretty good, I think. Obviously, the downside is it's mage only, and mage decks generally tend to be, you know, spell orientated. But I like it. I think there's some interesting decks to go from there. It's not something I would just put straight into a mage deck and be like, oh, that's great. But it is something which I think you could have some fun building a deck around. So I'd do that definitely. Nightmare Amalgam. This is an elemental mech, a demon, murloc, a dragon, beast, pirate, and totem. It's everything, which is really cool. It's a 3/4 as well, which is not terrible for 3. So I quite like it. I think it'll work when you have decks which perhaps have a couple of different synergies going on. Maybe a warlock deck where you're gonna, you know, have like a demon and maybe possibly elemental side to it, or demon and dragon or something like that. You maybe want something like that, and it's a very versatile card then, so I like it definitely. I'm not sure I want to see too many of these cards which do everything, but when there's just this one, I quite like that. I think that's good. Ratcatcher. People have said that this will just help out the cube lock, because, you know, it's a way to destroy your cube before it gets silenced. You can chuck your cube down on a Void Lord, or, you know, on a Doom. I can't remember what it's called now. The charging minion, the 5/7. I keep wanting to say Doomsayer, but it's not. Doom card. That's the one. Doom card. Eat that with your cube. Chuck this down. You're gonna get a beefy minion for only 3 cost, because you've eaten the stats of it, and then you'll get 2 of whatever you ate. So pretty powerful if you're playing that sort of deck. Otherwise, I don't think it's a bit like the what was the other one, the Void something or other, where it like ate the minions either side of it and added it in, where it's like, it seems cool, but when you just have one really beefy minion, it isn't that good, because there's a lot of single target removal going on at the minute. This one I haven't seen actually before, the Paraquat of Light, sorry. While this minion has 3 or more attack, it has Taunt and Lifesteal. Okay, so that's a buff paladin card. Yeah, pretty good. I think it's perhaps a bit more control-y because it's got the Taunt and Lifesteal, but I like that though, actually. I've been playing a lot of Dragon Paladin, which isn't great, but it's fun, and it's something different from the aggro paladin everyone's playing. So often it just confuses the hell out of people, which I really like. And yeah, just adding in a couple of buffs in there or something like that, you know, kings or something like that, makes that a really powerful minion potentially. Like what, a 9/6 with Taunt and Lifesteal, because it's got a king's. Obviously silence is an issue, but yeah, there we go. Now let's get a little look at the 3s and upwards. Oh, this is another mechanic they've brought in, the odd and even decks. So Black Cat, spell damage +1, battle cry. If your deck has only odd cost cards, draw a card. I don't like this mechanic. I think it, I don't think it's, I just don't like it, personally. It's not something I think I would want to build something around. I guess I appreciate them doing something different, but I don't really like it. We'll see though. In terms of, I was talking earlier about Warlock cards which damage itself. If your hero took damage this turn, summon 2 1/1 bats. So you can see there's another card as well later on which does 1 damage per turn to your hero. So you tend to get a few bats with that if you wanted, perhaps. Vivid Nightmare, Priest card, quite like. Choose a friendly minion, summon a copy of it with 1 health remaining. If you're playing a Death Rattle deck, that's really good, I think. There's some potentially really good synergies going on there. Priest, I always enjoy playing. It's probably my favourite class. That and Warlock are pretty close, but I think it's... I like Priest a lot. We got some just standard, like, neutral cards here. I wouldn't say there's anything too special. Voodoo Doll is one that I keep seeing a lot of people slag it off, but I also keep seeing a lot of people say it's really good. So your battle cry is choose a minion, and then the death rattle of it is destroy the chosen minion. Now it's only a 1/1, so I guess, you know, you have, it's fairly easy to kill, isn't it? But I don't know. I think that's decent for three cost removal. Obviously it doesn't remove it straight away. I guess it's a bit like, actually when you think about it, okay, I'd say it's a bit like Corruption, the Warlock one, which is like at the beginning of your turn, you know, you destroy that minion. It never sees play because it's too slow. Like, that minion could do damage to you. So why do we think Voodoo Doll's going to be better? Because you can kill it that turn, but then you're using resources which perhaps you can't do in a mage deck. I agree, that's powerful. That's a 5 cost removal, you know, straight up of a target. And from what I'm seeing, if you have something which can't be targeted by spells or hero powers, that can still work because it's not a spell, it's a minion. So from that perspective, yes, I guess that is pretty good as a large target removal, but it needs some sort of activator. I guess Warrior with like Whirlwind or those sort of things works as well, but it's not going to be for everyone. 4.5 is a very high rating, so I guess people really like it. Another reason why I'm excited for Rogue, this legendary, which I really like. So it's the Face Collector, 3 cost 2/2 Echo. Battle cry, add a random legendary minion to your hand. I like that a lot. So potentially, if you had, I think just playing it on turn 6 would be pretty cool. We get a couple of those on board and you get 2 random legendary minions in your hand. Obviously legendary minions can be pretty shit, but they can also be really powerful, and just adding those extra cards to your deck could be really cool. I mean, you could get anything, couldn't you? You could get a Tyrion, you could get a, you know, because it's random, it could be any class. You could get a Velen, you could even get a Face Collector, who knows. But yeah, there you go. Oh, I see. That's the 2 different versions of that card. That's interesting. So they also have this other mechanic where each turn it's in your hand, swap its attack and health. So I guess here, when it's in its human form, it's got better defense, and when it's in its attack form, it's got better attack. That's quite clever. I didn't know they changed the card art on it. I like that a lot. Blink Fox as well. See, there's a lot of adding random cards from your opponent's class in Rogue now, which I like. I like that mechanic, and that's a good card, Blink Fox. It looks cool. I like the art on it, and I like the card. And look at that, it's a common. Oh, I'm definitely gonna, yeah, I'm sure I'll get a load of them anyway, but it's 75 packs or so, but I'd definitely craft that if I didn't. The Glass Knight, the Paladin legendary, Divine Shield. Whenever you store health, gain Divine Shield. As I was saying, I've been playing a Paladin deck, and it was kind of like a cross between a healing and a dragon deck, and it was really good fun. And I won a fair few matches with it. I think mostly because it just confused people, because they thought it was going to be a like aggro Paladin deck, and it wasn't. So I think that just confused people. But this would be a really good like addition to that, because there's a lot of like health restoring mechanics in that deck I had. So if I picked up that one, I would definitely do it. I'm not sure if I'd craft that. I'm not sure how much dust I'm going to have to craft with, and there's some very, very interesting high cost minions, legendaries to come. So, but if I got it, I wouldn't be too disappointed, and I like the card art as well on it. It's cool. Another interesting card I think is the Bellringer Sentry, like a kind of cut price mysterious challenger. Paraquat Death Rattle, put a secret from your deck until the battlefield. I think it's pretty decent. Paladin secrets are never really like dangerous like a mage, but they're often really annoying. So yeah, it could be quite good. I guess Getaway Kodo and other things are really good, so we'll see. Dire Frenzy as well, Hunter card. Give a beast +3/+3, shuffle 3 copies into your deck with +3/+3. If you just cast that on a boar, 1 cost 1/1 boar with charge, you can make that into a 4/4, and then you're going to chuck 3 4/4 boars. Try saying that fast. With charge into your deck. Very powerful card, I think. Common Hunter, very, very powerful. I think we will see that a lot. Not sure any of these others interested me too much. Blood Witch was the one I was talking about. 4 cost 3/6 at the start of your turn, deal 1 damage to a hero. So synergizes with those ones that do damage. When your hero's taking damage, it's pretty good, I think. I quite like it. That's an interesting one. The Life Drinker, deal 3 damage to enemy hero, restore 3 health to your hero. Yeah, I could see that. Paraquat, draw the lowest cost minion from your deck. I can see that working with, like, you put a couple of these in and then you have your like really big cast only. Otherwise, yeah, I'm sure we'll see that somewhere along the line. Probably might not be that good, but we'll see. Okay, so this is like the Arcane Keysmith here. I guess it's like an expensive archaeologist, which is a bit more random, but frees up some space in your deck. So the archaeologist would grab, would take a secret, draw a secret from your deck, which was usually just ice block for mages, which is really annoying. But the thing I like about this is then you can now discover a mage secrets are quite powerful. So you put it into the battlefield, they're at least a 3 cost. So if you reduce this down to the fact that that's only going to cost 1, really, for a 2/2, it's actually pretty good. I quite like that. The Toxmonger as well. Whenever you play a 1 cost minion, give it poisonous. I think there's definitely some synergy there. We'll see how that works. People don't seem to like it. I think it's a bit random, or not random, but it's a bit difficult to pull off. But I quite like it. I quite like it. Boars, 1 cost boars with poison. It's amazing how the 1 cost 1/1 boar sees so much use still, isn't it? Crazy. Houndmaster Shaw, your other minions have rush. I mean, yeah, I guess so. It feels like slightly better Tundra Rhino, which gives your beast charge, doesn't it? So, yeah, I guess it's alright. Anything else? I like the card art, the Totem Cruncher. I'm not sure I would use it personally. I saw this today as well, the Unpowered Steambot 09 Dawn Mech. I'm going to say now, it's better than that in a Fire Priest. Or, as we'll see later, the Priest Legendary. That could be very powerful. Very, very powerful. We'll see though. Glittermoth, the Priest card. If your deck has only odd cost cards, double the health of your other minions. So obviously wouldn't work with that, but that's potentially a nice kind of synergy there. I like the Priest ones which they do with this. That's interesting. I'm not too keen on the other ones from other classes, but I like that card. A lot of other people don't seem to like it at all. That's the wrong way. That's the one we want. Okay. What else we got? Duskfallen Aviana. Yeah, I don't like that. Princely, and transform all 1 cost cards in your deck into legendary minions. That's pretty cool. If you're playing like a buff paladin, but you feel like it's going to go a slightly longer game, pop that down. Of course, it's kind of negated by the Skulking Geist, but eh. Oh, Chief Inspector, destroy all enemy secrets. Why wouldn't you play Eater of Secrets? Is the Eater of Secrets going away? I don't get it. That's interesting. I wonder. Eater of Secrets, I think, is a 4-cost 4/2, so this clearly has better stats and it looks cooler, but interesting. Deathweb Spider, if your hero took damage this turn, gain life steal. Quite like that a lot. Yeah, you know, there's some interesting decks coming out of Warlock, I think. We'll see. Witchwood Grizzly, this is a neutral card. Taunt Paraquat, lose 1 health for each card in your opponent's hand. The thing I like about this is the potential for like resurrect and the potential for like copying and or maybe bouncing it back into your hand and then popping it back out and stuff like that. I think it's pretty good. You know, if you're playing this potentially, you know, say your opponent on average has 4 or 5 cards, you're still getting, you know, with 4 cards, you're still getting a 3/8. That's pretty good. So yeah, we'll see, I guess. But I quite like it. Darius Crowley, I don't like that. Yeah, another elemental for mage, so that would work quite well in my elemental deck, I guess. We'll see. Holy Water, deal 4 damage to Minion. If it kills it, add a copy of it to your hand. Quite like that as well. I think that's pretty interesting. Dollmaster Dorian, this is for me one of the most interesting legendaries we've got. It's like a good Barnes. I say that because how many times do people get frustrated with Barnes when it just gives you a crap minion? Well, hey, whatever you draw, you're summoning a 1/1 copy of it. So I think there's a lot of interesting like interesting stuff which could go on with that. So I think I'd probably craft that if I didn't get it eventually. Maybe not straight away, depending on what I get, but I like it. Warlock, Glinda Crowskin, minions in your hand have Echo. I think it's good. It's maybe not the most exciting, but it could end up being one of the most powerful, to be fair. You know, if you can keep it alive, I guess. Or is it just the thing I didn't get was minions in your hand have Echo? Does it work? Okay, I think it only works when it's alive. But yeah, as they're saying, like, you could play 5 no Veratus with it. That would be awesome. That would be really awesome. So I think there could be some fun to be had with that. But maybe it's not quite as strong as people might think. Lady in White, though, I really like this card. This is what I was saying about cast Inner Fire on every minion in your deck. If you have some of those unpowered Steambots 0/9s, that's a 9/9 for 4. That beats a Shaman 7/7 for 4. I think that's pretty powerful, personally. I know it counts upon the fact of if you can draw this particular card, but hey, I think that could work. You know, chuck a Ysera in your deck, you got a 12/12. Chuck a Malagos, you got a 12/12. That's pretty good. Chuck a Mossy Horror in, you've got a 7/7. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I'd definitely play that card and build an interesting deck around that, I think. The Toki Time Tinker at Paraquat, add a random legendary minion from the past to your hand. So that means the legendary minion you will get will be a wild, which is really cool. Let me just have a drink. Yeah, but I think that's awesome. I'm glad we might actually get some like crazy wild synergies going on in standard. I know it's got a 3.3, but it's fun as hell. It's probably one of those ones where I'd end up crafting it just because I think it just looks really fun. But we'll see. Jenny Greymane, start of game. If your deck only has even cost cards, your starting hero power costs 1. So that's at the start of the game. It could be powerful, I guess. I was playing Dungeon Run recently, and yeah, I picked the hero power with like Hunter, where it only cost 1 and it was upgraded, and it just annihilated my opponent. I didn't end up winning that run because I'm shit, but you know, early days, it just absolutely annihilated my opponent. So it could be okay, but we'll see. It's one of those ones where I think there's potential to either never see any play or constantly just be a foundation of decks. So we'll see on that one, I guess. Black Cow Gunspire. I don't think this is good, but I think it has the potential for memes, or the potential to be like one of those really cool cards. Again, like I'm just seeing this one card 3/11. Do you want an 11/11 for 7? Yeah, just play Lady in White. It's fucking awesome. Yeah, Black Cow Gunspire can't attack whenever this minion takes damage. Deal 3 damage to a random enemy. I guess with the whirlwind mechanics of like Scourge Lord Garrosh and stuff like that, it could be pretty good, but I don't know. I'd prefer if it said something like deal its attack to a random enemy, because then it might be quite powerful, but yeah, it doesn't feel that good for me. Lord Godfrey, Battlecry, deal 2 damage to other minions. If any die, repeat this Battlecry. It's kind of like it's kind of like an expensive Defile. I mean, people are saying it's really great, so I'd take their word on it. It seems expensive. It's like when you get to turn 7, for example, or later, how many times do minions have 2 health that you're going to just keep killing them? It could potentially wipe the board, of course, but I don't know if it's a 4.8. That seems incredibly high. Azalina Soul Thief, replace your hand with a copy of your opponent's. I like it just because it's so memey, you know. It's rubbish, don't get me wrong, it's expensive, it's bad statted, you might have nothing in your opponent's hand you want, they may only have 1 card. You know, I don't think it's very good, but I like it. Countess Ashmore, Battlecry, draw a Rush, Lifestone, Death Rattle, card for your deck. I think that's really good, really, really good. It's like a better thing. Oh, what's the one from Karazhan? Which draws the Murloc, Dragon, and Beast. I can't remember what it is, but I think that's potentially better. It's got better stats anyway. That's pretty good. Whenever a friendly minion is healed, summon a 3/3 Whelp for 7 cost 4/9 Dragon. I like that. I'm glad we keep seeing dragons, especially in Priest. Dragon Priest is a fun deck. Tess Greymane, I really like this, one of my favourite cards. Battlecry, replay every card from another class you've played this game. Targets chosen randomly. So we've seen in Rogue there's lots of things which give you cards from other classes. This is why it pays off on turn 8. Potentially you could get yourself a shit ton of minions or something like that. It could be really good. It could be like the Inzoth of this expansion or something, you know. It could be trash. I really like it. That would be a definite craft for me. I'm looking forward to playing some rogue decks with Tess and the other cards which take cards from your opponent. And we have some existing ones as well, like Hallucination and stuff like that. So yeah, I like it a lot. Your other elementals have 2 attack, fine. Don't like the Silver Sword. Yeah, people don't really like it either. Don't really like the Splitting Fester Root. Restore 8 health to your hero. Yeah, it's okay. There's better 8 cost though, isn't there? Splinter Graft, I don't really like that. You choose a friendly minion and add a 10/10 copy to your hand that costs 10. Yeah. Agatha the Witch. Agatha the Witch is a hero class card for Shaman, which Battlecry deal 3 damage to all minions. Obviously you get your 5 armor. So you could potentially board clear, and then it has a passive hero ability like we see in like dungeon run opponents, where I think it's every time you play a minion, you get after you play a minion, add a random shaman spell to your hand. I guess it could be okay. I think you could make an interesting deck out of that, definitely. Whether it would be competitive like at a high end, I don't know, but it could be interesting. And then we have 3 very interesting cards, I guess. Shudder Walk. I saw that I think Kotaku said that it was the craziest card that Hearthstone have ever made. I disagree. Yogg-Saron is and always will be the craziest card that Hearthstone ever made, or Blizzard ever made, until they nerfed him. battle cry for the Shadow Walk. Repeat all other battle cries from cards you played this game. Targets chosen randomly. Yeah, I mean, it could win you the game. It seems like it's a little bit better than Yogg in so much as Yogg, the reason why Yogg was so fun was because it could just create chaos, you know. But the Shadow Walk seems to me like you can refine a lot. So you're repeating things which you know are going to do. So you could play this after the Emeris, which is the 10 cost 8/8 dragon, double the attack and health for all your minions. You can play that afterwards and you're going to get that again, you know. Or you can kind of choose the battle cries you want. Sorry, you couldn't play it after that, but you get what I'm saying, because it's a shaman card and there's a hunter. But if you get what I'm saying, like if you choose the battle cries you want, trying to find something which has a battle cry. If, for example, if you played this, you wouldn't want that battle cry, so you wouldn't include that in there. Whereas with Yogg, fucking anything can happen, which is why Yogg is far crazier than just Shadow Walk. But the Shadow Walk is probably better, certainly 100% better than Yogg in its current form. May he rest in peace, where he just kills himself like immediately. But yeah, I like it. I think people are going to be playing Shaman for sure, which is cool because I didn't feel like Shaman saw a lot of love in the last expansion, and yeah, Shaman's got a bad rep recently, hasn't it? From like all of those horrible Shaman decks which came about, but I think that'd be interesting. This Hunter card, Hunter doesn't typically do well with high cost cards. The exception probably being Call of the Wild, but I would personally like to make a more kind of like control-y Hunter deck, and I think that's a pretty good card. I'd like to see that perhaps work with your Spell Hunter, not Spell Hunter, sorry, what am I talking about? Quest Hunter. I think that could actually be quite cool, because then all your little raptors have suddenly got like a way beefier, you know. Could be pretty good, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't know. If put it this way, if I got it, then I'd be alright with it, but I wouldn't craft it. And Baku the Moon Eater, if your deck only has odd cost cards, upgrade your hero power. So similar in a way to wherever the hell that other one was, Jen Greymane, just a bit more powerful card, I guess. I don't really like it personally. I'm not too much of a fan of these odd cost card things, you know. I like it sometimes when they put restrictions on your deck, so say with like Reno, or you know, Raza, or you know, things like that. It's quite cool that way, but this way, I don't know. I guess it's pretty similar, so maybe I like it. But yes, there's some of the cards which I think are interesting in the deck. Let me know what you guys think, what you're looking forward to, what you think is like an auto craft, or what you think is like an auto dust, you know, what we're going to go. Let's see if we can use a rating, have a look and see what people are rating as the best cards. So they think Lord Godfrey, Wing Blast, deal 4 damage to minion if it died this turn, this costs 1. It's pretty good, yeah, not gonna lie, it's not very exciting, but it's pretty good. Then Countess Ashmore, yeah, I think she's good. The Town Crier, decent 1-drop, definitely. Aggro Warrior coming back, maybe. She'll be a craft for me, I think. As would Witchwood Grizzly. We saw 6 after all friendly characters. Oh yeah, that's good. That's really good. That's a better Circle of Healing. I know the circle costs 0, so in a way it's really good, but yeah, I like that. And is there any here that I haven't really covered? I actually think I've covered most of the ones which are high cost, so maybe I've got good taste. Apart from these, Curse of Weakness, that's a Warlock card. Echo, give all your enemies -2 attack until your next turn. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like that. To play that a couple of times, they've got 0 attack, you can just kill them, they can't do anything the turn after. Yeah, I like that, I like that a lot. That's cool. And otherwise I think I'm pretty much, that's a cool looking card. Zap, deal 2 damage to a minion, overload 1. Yeah, that's decent, I guess. That's a cheap lower theb. And yeah, so I think that the good thing about this is, like, from a legendary point of view, and the legendaries are the kind of interesting thing, I think, in a way. Let's check the legendary. Let me see now. What would I be disappointed if I got legendary wise? Imagining from 70 cards, I would at least want 3 minimum legendaries. Probably would expect at least 4. I'd be fine with Gold Godfrey, fine with Countess, fine. Don't really want it, but I guess be okay. Be fine with that. I'd be okay with that, I guess. Be okay with that. Really want that. Be okay with that. Don't have any interest in this. I like that. Don't have any interest, and I'd be okay with that just because the memes would be fun. But don't like them. So yeah, I guarantee you now I get these 4 bloody legendaries. Well, just dust them off as long as they're gold and I can dust them and turn them into a normal legendary. I'll be happy with that. But yeah, so I guess that's it. So just to remind you, I'm going to be doing a stream Thursday night. Pack opening. We'll probably obviously play a few games as well. Have some fun times. Hopefully, anyway. Basically, I don't know when it's actually releasing in the EU as it opens. It's done it before where it's just fucked me over and it hasn't released till like Friday morning at like 3 AM or something. So providing it's out, which I expect it to be by 8:30, then I'm definitely gonna do a stream on it. If it's not out by then Friday night I will as well. I'm off for a week from work, so I can enjoy it. No, I didn't specifically choose that week because Hearthstone's coming out, by the way. Not that much of a flipping loser, but I only do that with Fallout and Elder Scroll games. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I think it should be quite good fun. I don't feel like there's anything here which is like super overpowerful, where it's like, oh yeah, you can't play like I felt with not the last one, but the one before with the hero cards. Was that the last one? I can't remember. No, the one before. I felt like if you played a deck without one of the hero cards in it, it just made your deck worse. Like they were like an auto include, and I don't like cards which are auto includes. I like cards where you can build a deck around it, like legendary specifically, and where they can be good and you can pop them in, but they're not gonna like just make your deck. But it's like if I didn't have Chameleos in my priest deck, it's not gonna make my deck worse because I could put another good card in there. But it would make my deck more interesting if I had it in there, and I like that definitely. So, and there's other things where it's like, okay, you can build things around. So Shadowwalk, obviously you can pick and choose what battle cries you want in there. With Tess, you're gonna make sure you've got cards. You're building the deck around it rather than just being like, oh, it's a super powerful card, just chuck it in there. So I like it. I like it a lot. And thank you for watching. And I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.